Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to discuss about how to play rhythm pad in 1 hour. So I'll just tell the topics which we are going to discuss today. So we are going to start from how to hold sticks, the basic one, and we are going to go the name of the parts of various drums, the instrument, and then we are going to learn about the note values, and then we are going to see about certain beats and certain fills, and finally I'll give some tips for how to practice and how to stay motivated during the practice. So if you are a beginner or you are someone who have purchased the pad and you are not aware of where to start, so this is the best video for you, and I can guarantee you at the end of this video definitely you will gain more knowledge and definitely you have some ideas of how to start playing with the rhythm pad. Okay, and for this demonstration purpose in this video I am using DTX. So it doesn't matter whether you have a DTX or SPD20 or 20X30 or Alice's or any other sort of pad, right? So any pad you have is perfectly enough. You can start with it. For this purpose, for this video purpose, I am going to demonstrate using DTX Multi-12. If you are having SPD20 also, you can follow this video. SPD30 also, no problem, you can follow it. Okay. So basically we are going to learn just by listening and playing here. Okay. So there are two methods of learning. One is following by notations. The second one is just listening and learning. So if you go for notations, there will be a lot of things to study, but actually it is a proper method. But in this video, we are not going to discuss about notations. We are just going to listen and understand the concepts. Okay, and I am going to demonstrate this by playing in this pad. Okay, so you may be a beginner player, intermediate or advanced player. Definitely you will get some knowledge in this video. Okay, but this is basically for very much a beginner player, those who need to start playing the rhythm pad. Okay, those who don't have any idea about how to start it. Okay, so in this video we are going to discuss only about drums. I mean the drum tones in the rhythm pad. Okay, actually there are a lot of stuffs you can do, like learning how to play tabla, dholak and everything you can do, but in this video we are going to learn about how to play drums in the rhythm pad. Okay, so now let's get started. So I kindly recommend you not to skip the video and watch the video fully, because if you skip one part and go for the next one, you may lose some information. Okay, so kindly take your time and watch this video. If you have a rhythm pad, just sit in front of your pad and watch this video so that you could practice along with this video. Okay, rather than just watching it sitting somewhere. If you have a rhythm pad, you just sit in front of the pad and watch this video. Now for those who don't have the rhythm pad, you can just watch this video and gain the knowledge. Okay, if possible you can do some sort of a pad like this using a cardboard or any other material you have in your home, right? So something you can build and you can try it on your own. So if you build like that, definitely you can use that for practicing. You can just take piece of cardboard and cut it in circles like this, and you can make your custom own DTX pad or any sort of pad. So the first thing which we are going to discuss it, how to hold the drumstick. Okay, now for some this may look little easier, but actually there are some concepts regarding in holding your drumsticks also. So when you're playing, the way you hold the drumstick also matters. So it's not just like simply taking the stick in your hand and hitting it. Okay, you need to be perfect in certain things. You need to be professional in certain things in order to play the drums or rhythm pad perfectly well. Okay, so all these small things does matter if you need to play it in a professional way. Okay, now I'm going to just take one stick. Okay, I place the stick here. Just try it in your right hand. Okay, now these two fingers, the thumb finger and the pointing finger. Okay, I'm going to gradually take it like this. Okay, no sort of pressure in your hands, nothing, just gradually take it like this and close it like this. Okay, I'll repeat it again, taking the stick and closing it. Okay, now the last three fingers, right, your third finger, fourth finger and fifth finger, you're going to close like this. Okay, Now this is the best method to hold the stick. Now I'll tell you what are the wrong methods that people usually do, right? I've seen players, the beginner players, those who don't have idea, what they gradually do is they'll hold the stick tight like this. So what it happens is you are almost putting extra sort of pressure to your hands. So this much pressure is not required. Okay, your grip should be as much loose as possible. So now I'll show this. So see, this is the wrong method of holding the stick. I mean the grip. Okay. If you're going to hit like this for a long time, you won't get the speed and you automatically will get tired if you need to play it for a long time. Okay. So keep the grip as much loose as possible. So it doesn't mean that if you keep a grip of the stick too much loose, your stick will fall down. Okay. At first you may get struggled a little bit of holding the grip like this. Okay. Especially for those who have been always holding the stick like this, and now they need to push like this. Okay. For them it will be difficult. For those who are starting it, you can just start like this. Okay. I'll repeat it again. Going to take the stick, close it like this. Okay. Now the forward and backward motion of your stick should come by using these 3 fingers. Okay. I'll show it. Okay. You can see it clearly. I'll show it slowly. Okay. It's not like this. Okay. So as I said earlier, if you are going to do like this, you will automatically get tired and your hands can't play fast, right? So keep the grip as much loose as possible like this. Okay. The front and back motions of your stick should be like this. Okay. Now if you want, you can move the pointing finger a little bit further up. Okay. It's not like this. A little bit further up. Okay. The grip is like this. Your thumb finger and your pointing finger. Okay. So if you want, you can move the pointing finger a little bit further up like this. Okay. Now make sure, if you got to test out whether you have hold the stick properly, you can take another stick and just insert it inside. Okay. So you should have this much space between your thumb finger and your pointing finger. Okay. So if you hold it in the wrong method like this, definitely the other stick won't go inside, right? So keep some space and make the other stick to go inside. Okay. So this might sound a little bit different for some, but if you follow this gradually, you can learn playing fast songs. Okay. You can learn to play fast. Okay. At the beginning, the speed is not important, but as you go on, if you proper follow method of holding the stick, all these matters, all this will definitely matter when you need to play it fast. Okay. Now let's start with the name, I mean the parts of the drums. Okay. Now before going to the parts, there are various types of sticks. I think all might be aware of this. So it will be like 2A, 5A, 7A. I will just say what those stick mean. So if you're going to start as a beginner, you might choose something like 5A. Okay. You can go for 7 sticks also, the 7A type also, like this one. Okay. Now what's difference between the 5s and the 7s? Okay. So 5s is basically the thicker ones and the 7s are the thinner ones. I think you can see it here. So 5 is thicker than 7. So if you want to start as a beginner, you can start with 5A sticks or even 7A. For someone would feel like the 5A is little bit difficult for them to hold in their hands. Okay, you can opt for the 7A sticks also. Now another thing in the stick, your stick tip. Okay, for example, if you say in this one it is a wooden tip stick, and this one it is a nylon tip stick. Okay, you can see the nylon material here. So for those who feel like you don't have to damage your pad really bad, hitting your pad using the nylon, hitting the pad using your wooden tip stick, can prefer for the nylon tip stick. So all these things are basically your wish only. So what you feel is comfortable for you, you can try it. Okay. So now let's get started. with the parts of the drums. Okay. So now this one is the hi-hat. Okay. So if you look at the proper drum structure, you will be having certain parts in it like hi-hat, snare drum, bass drum, tom 1, tom 2, tom 3, cymbals. Okay. So basically there are just 7 to 8 names in this. You have to keep it in mind. Okay. So first one is the hi-hat. So this is the sound of the hi-hat. The next one is the snare drum. The next one is the bass drum. This setting is also your wish. So some will keep the bass drum to your left. Okay, they will play like this. So if you feel easier to do like that, you can do. And also you can keep your bass drum on your right. That is playing the bass drum, this pad, using your right hand. Okay. So the hi-hat, snare drum, and the bass drum. I'll repeat it again. Hi-hat, snare, bass. Bass, snare, hi-hat. Okay. Now you are going to try it. So as you keep on watching this video, I'll make you to work on certain things, right? So I'll just hit the pad. Now you got to find out what instrument is that. Okay. So I guess when you would have found it, this is the snare drum. Yes, there's a bass drum. This one is the hi-hats. Okay. So if you take hi-hats, there are basically you can get a lot of sounds from it in your hi-hats. But in this video, we're going to see about the open hi-hat and the closed hi-hat. So if you see a proper drum setup now, you can see the hi-hat has a foot pedal in it. So every hi-hat has a foot pedal in it. And in the drums, if you release the pedal, you will get as a open hi-hat sound. And if you close the pedal, you will get it as a closed hi-hat sound. Okay. So in the same way, we are going to play that in the rhythm pad. So this is the closed hi-hat. This is the open hi-hat. So open hi-hat will be kind of a wide range of sound. It will be open sound, right, please? Okay. And the closed hi-hat will be a tight sound. Okay. So basically what we are doing, we are recording the tone from the drums and we are putting in the pad and playing. Okay. So how they manufacture this pad, the people who are manufacturing this pad, you might have got some inbuilt tones in your pad. So what they do is they record it with the original drums or any software, they sample it and they give us inside the pad. So all these tones are actually from the drums. So from the drums you are taking and sampling it to the pads. Okay. So hi-hat, closed hi-hat, open hi-hat, snare drum, bass drum. Okay. The next one are the toms. So toms, basically there are 3 types of toms: tom 1, tom 2, tom 3. Okay. And in this video we are going to see only about tom 1 and tom 2. So your tom 1 sound may come like this and your tom 2 will be like this, right? So tom 1, tom 2. So if you feel you need another tom, actually you can keep tom 1 here, tom 2 here, tom 3 here. So in a DT expert, if you go inside the voice button, you can find those options, right? The tom, it will be mentioned as TM. So TM is the tom. I'll just tell you the names so that it will be easy for you to follow. Okay, I'm just pressing the voice button and pressing the minus button here and alternating the tones. Okay, so the first one, if you see, it will be like KK. So KK is the bass drum, kick drum. Next one is the SN, snare drum. Next one is the TM, toms. Next one is the cymbals, CY. Okay, then the next one, HH. HH is the hi-hats. Okay. So you can alter between these tones and you can set the tones which you like. So basically if you take a snare drum, there will be plenty of snare drum tones inside the pad. Okay, if you take example for a manual drum, there are plenty of snare drums in a manual drum. So what they do is they just record the tones from the different types of snare, different types of bass, different types of hi-hats, and they are given for us inside the pad. So if you feel like, if you don't like this snare drum, you can change it using the voice and this button. So plenty of snare drum options are there inside the pads, any pad, not only for DTX, any sort of pad, right? So hi-hat, closed hi-hat, open hi-hat, snare drum, bass drum, tom one, and the final one are the cymbals. Okay, cymbals can be a crash cymbal, a splash cymbal, another crash cymbal. So all these settings are purely your wish. So basically, if you're going to start, you can just start it using a splash and a crash cymbal. So when it comes to cymbal also, it is in the same sense as I told you for the other parts of the drums, the toms and the snare drum. So even the cymbals has lot of cymbal types in it. Okay, a splash drum, the snare, crash, trash, China cymbal. So many types of cymbals are there. So all these tones they have sampled and they have given for us here. The final one is the right cymbal. So right cymbal, usually the tone will be like this. This is the right cymbal, splash, crash. Okay, bass drum, snare drum, hi-hats, open hi-hats, tom 1, tom 2, finally the cymbals. Okay, now we have got an idea of what the parts of these drums and the tones of these drums and the names, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play it in a random order so that you can try naming it after each time I hit the pad. Okay, if you're following this video, you can try it on your own, right? So I'm going to alternate and play between these pads. So you're going to just listen it and you're going to find which sort of pad I am hitting, right? So we'll start from the first one. Okay, second one. Okay, now we have got an idea regarding the names of these drums. Okay, now I'm going to go a little faster. I'll just try if you can find the names of the drums. Okay, I'm going to go a little faster. A little more faster. Okay, like this you can try yourself hitting the parts of the drums and trying to find the name of the drums, right? So now we have found the name of the various drums in our rhythm pad, right? Now the next thing which we are going to focus is the notes. Okay, previously I said at the starting of the video we are not going to see about the notations and too much theory in this video. It's going to be basically the playing stuff, right? So before going to the playing, there are certain notes which you need to understand, right? So basically there are just 3 notes, easy notes you can easily understand, right? So first one is the old note. You can just write, or you can see even in the description I have given some sort of titles and some subheadings for under each title so that you can take a note, right? So if you need to understand it clearly, you can take notes now. So first one is the old note, next one is the half note, the final one is the quarter note. Okay, so old note, WHOLE, old note, half note, and the quarter note. Okay, so now what is old note? So if you got 4 counts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Consider yourself taking 4 counts. Old note means you're going to play only in the first count. Okay, now to demonstrate this, I'm going to just hit my stick when I'm saying number count 1. Okay, I'm going to count 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm going to hit my stick only in the first count because the whole note is playing only in the first count, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll repeat it again. Just see at which count I'm hitting the stick, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you have got an idea of what is the whole note. The next one is the half notes. So half notes are, as the name indicates, we are going to play half of the counts. Okay, so 4 counts. So half of the counts, it's 2. So now we are going to play on the counts 1 and 3. Okay, basically there are 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm going to play only on the counts 1 and 3. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just listen the counts. At which count I am striking the sticks. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the final one is the quarter note. So quarter note is the easiest one. You're going to basically hit on all the counts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm saying 4 counts and I'm striking the stick for all the 4 counts. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now just we can give a quick glance from the starting. So the whole note is playing on the first count 1, 2, 3, 4. And the half note is playing on counts 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the quarter note is playing on all the counts. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now let's try it in a sequence, starting from the whole note, half note, and the quarter note in a trot. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now you can also try it in the reverse order. That is, we started from whole note, went for the half note, then the quarter note. Now you can try from starting from the quarter note, half note, and then the whole note, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, if you want to move this to the next level, if you want to practice these notes to the next level, you can alter between these notes. That is, not in the same order of starting the whole note, then the half note, then the quarter note. You can alter between them. Like for example, now I'm going to start with quarter note, and then the whole note, and then the half note, right? So all these things you can try it on your own. So now I'm going to do with the quarter, whole, and the half note, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now you've got an idea regarding these notes, right? So now I'm going to give a small exercise for you in which I'm going to alter the notes, and basically you're going to give the taps like this. Okay. So you can give, you can do a self-evaluation of yourself after playing and checking yourself, right? So now I'm going to give you 3 counts in a mixed order. Okay. So half note, quarter note, and finally whole note. So I'll give you 10 seconds time. You can try it. Half note, quarter note, and the whole note. Okay, I guess many would have got it right. Okay, so these are the note values. Okay, the notes and how many counts they take for each beat. Okay. Okay, now we have seen the stick names, the how to hold the stick, the parts of the drums, the note counts. Now here comes the interesting time. We are going to shift to how to start our first beat in the rhythm pad. Okay. So we are going to see basically 4 patterns today. That is a 4/4 pattern, a 3/4 pattern, 2/4 pattern, and some fills for these patterns. Right. I will be explaining later what do you mean by fills and the beats, right? So beats. So beats are the basic things for any song, right? any song or any piece of music. So basically a 4/4 beat looks like this. Okay, now we are going to learn how to play this beat, right? So as I say, the term 4/4, it means there are going to be 4 counts in it, right? 4, 4, 4 by 4. So usually we call it as time signature. We can discuss a lot regarding this time signature, but if you start in the topic, I think it will definitely take more time. So just keep in your mind this term time signature. Okay, so time signature, first one we are going to discuss about 4 by 4, a basic beat in 4 by 4. So this 4 by 4 is a basic beat, and if you can play this at a tempo of around 180, I mean the speed, if you are able to play this a little bit faster, it will be definitely perfect for you to start with any sort of songs, right? So there are basically many songs in 4/4 time signature. Okay, so now we will start it. Okay, so its counts are 1, 2, 3, 4, and I strongly recommend you kindly count every time you practice, right? So many don't understand the importance of counting while you practice, but you just count and see. You will definitely grow faster, your rhythm knowledge will improve, and your timing will be perfect, and everything comes along with it, right? So don't feel hesitate to count, or don't feel shy to count, don't feel lazy to count. Okay, just count it loud as possible. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we are going to start the beats. So in this video, for the demonstration purpose for this beat, we are going to see only regarding your hi-hats, snare drum, and the bass drum. Okay, now we are going to keep your hands like this. That is the left hand on the hi-hat, right hand on the bass drum. Okay, so it's 4 counts, and in all these 4 counts, the hi-hats are going to go by themselves. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is the first step. So play your hi-hat using your left hand or your right hand if you're going to alternate and play for the first 4 counts. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll repeat it again, and if you're seeing this audio, kindly follow along this. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll start it as much slow as possible, then you can gradually take the speed. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think now we can guess on what notes we are playing. Before this, we had discussed the off note, whole note, and the quarter note. So now we are playing these beats in the quarter note time, right? So I said for quarter notes, for the 4 counts, you're going to play in all the 4 counts. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the same thing we are doing it now, right? In all the 4 counts, we are playing hi-hats. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first one. The next one, we are going to move to the bass drum. So bass drum just comes only in the first count. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll repeat it again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are going to try along with the hi-hats. So we're going to combine the bass drum and the hi-hats. So we're going to try it, right? We'll keep it as much slow as possible so that everyone can follow along this video. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to do this in a cycle of loops, that is at least for 5 to 6 times you're going to do it, right? So you can follow along with me. I'm going to keep it as much slow as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we have got the idea of on which counts you are going to play the bass drum and the hi-hat. Okay. Now the only one left is the snare drum, right? So the snare drum is going to come on the third count. Okay. So if you're following this video, you can take small notes like as I saying this, the first count is the hi-hat, second count is the hi-hat, third count hi-hat, fourth count hi-hat, the first count bass drum, third count snare drum. Like that, if you take small notes, it will be definitely useful for you. Okay. So only in the third count we are going to play the snare drum. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we are going to combine all these three and the beat forms. So the magic comes here. So all this time we have been playing separately the hi-hats, the bass drum and the snare drum. Now we are going to combine all this, and now the beat, a normal 4/4 beat comes. Okay. Now let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I said you earlier, we are going to play hi-hats on all the 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass drum on count 1. Snare drum on count 3. Okay. Now we are going to combine all this and we are going to play, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we are going to practice this in loops. That is around 10 times you are going to repeat the same thing, so that you can get a flow, you will get a confidence to take it little more further, right? So now we will start it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass drum hi-hat, hi-hat, snare drum hi-hat, hi-hat. Bass drum hi-hat, hi-hat, snare drum hi-hat, hi-hat. You need not say like this, you just say the counts. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what it happens is, as you keep on doing along this count, your timing begins to be in perfect sync and your speed automatically gradually it increases. Okay. So at the beginning, kindly keep it as much slow as possible. What generally happens is, I have seen lot of beginner players, once they get to know a beat, they try to make it fast, they try to push themselves fast. I think speed is important, but more than speed, your consistency is important. Okay. Just imagine yourself riding a bike. Your bike may be around 2 lakh or 3 lakh, right? And if you don't have the control over your speed, you're going it fast as you can, and you're going to hit somewhere. So that is no use, whether it could be a 50,000 vehicle or it's a 3 lakh vehicle, right? So you need control over your speed. The same way, in the rhythm pad also you need the control. So it's good to get the speed, but before getting the speed, make sure you have the control. Your hands should obey you. That is the counts 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I just show you playing this beat a little faster, right? Okay, and what generally happens is your left hand tends to become a little weird. I mean, it will begin to lose its energy and compared to the right hand very fast. Okay, so basically we are doing almost all the things in our right hand. I mean, our daily routine and everything. And now suddenly you are going to give so much of work to your left hand, because the hi-hat keeps on going only in the left hand, right? So your hi-hat needs to be going like this consistently. It needs to be maintained perfect timing. Consider yourself playing in the audience, playing in front of a crowd. where a song is like this and your hi-hat needs to go fast like this. Okay, if it's for 1 minute or 2 minutes, it's perfect. But if a song continues for 5 to 10 minutes, because you never know how the situation will lead you. Okay, so at sometimes you might be intended, or you may be forced to do something like this for around 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so you need to be ready for that situations also. You need to practice your hi-hat. So if you feel your left hand is struggling a bit, or if you feel your left hand needs to increase speed, you can just focus on your left hand. That is, take your stick on your left hand and try hitting the pad simply like this. Okay, but make sure you keep the timing consistent, right? If I'm going to decrease the timing, it's 1 2 3 4. The same way, if I increase the timing, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, further increasing the timing, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2, further 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2. Okay, so like this you keep on pushing yourself. Make sure your left hand is as smooth as possible as your right hand. So if you want some exercise to develop your left hand speed, kindly comment it below your name and your mail ID. I'll forward some exercise of how to increase your left hand speed to your mail, right? So if you want those stuff, you can mail me. My mail ID is below. So also in the comment, do mention that which exercise you require, that is for the left hand or the right hand, along with your mail ID in the comments, and I'll definitely send you the exercises to your mail ID, right? Okay, now coming back to the beat. So it's 1 2 3 4. So it's 1 2 3 4. So I'm going to just play it a little faster so that you will get the idea of how this beat actually comes, right? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. Okay, so make sure your timing is perfect and you need not give too much stress on your sticks, right? So it's just like this. Keep it relaxed and let your hands and the fingers do the work, right? Don't put too much pressure like this and hit the pad, right? So you won't get the speed and it won't be the better way to play it for a longer time. Okay, so now we have seen a basic 4/4 beat. Our next thing we are going to move is the basic 3/4 beat. So 3/4 beats are generally the waltz beat, the march beat. Okay, so 3/4, a basic 3/4 beat would sound like this: 1 2 3. Okay, now same way we are going to split it up and we are going to find on which count which part of the drum comes, and we are going to learn. Okay, so in the same way, as we've seen in the 4/4, the same thing is going to come for the 3/4. The hi-hats are going to come on all the counts. That is 1 2 3. Now be a little cautious and aware of the timing, because once you move from the 4/4 to the 3/4, you might find it a little difficult to count it perfectly, right? Your 4/4 is your even counts. That is 1 2 3 4. But when it comes to your 3/4, it's your odd count, right? It's 1 2 3. So be aware of these timings, right? So now we are going to start as much slow as possible with all the quarter notes on the hi-hat on counts 1 2 3. Okay, so 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So I'll repeat it again. It's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. The next comes the bass drum. So the bass drum is only on count 1. Okay, as you have seen in the 4/4 timing, the bass drum is only on the count 1. Okay, so it's 1 2 3 1 2 3. The snare drums are in count 2 and 3. Okay, so 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, now we'll start playing slowly the beat, combining the bass drum, hi-hat and the snare drum. Okay, so it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 So now I recommend you to follow along with me, right? So we're going to start it slowly. 1, 2, 3. Kindly count, okay? Don't forget to count. Okay, so these are very much a basic beat when it comes to drumming, or you're going to do your drums on your rhythm pad, right? So these are very much basic beat. So in the same way, in the 4/4, 3/4, 2/4, and in the other time signatures, you have certain beats like the intermediate level and the advanced levels, right? So this same 3/4 can be played also like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can also add 16th note in it. So this one is adding 8th notes, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Next one is adding 16th note. So these are some intermediate to advanced stuffs, right? So in this video, we are discussing the basic beginner beats, okay? But if we are willing to move it further to your intermediate or advanced levels, you can try the other sort of beats, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the basic 3/4 beat, right? Now the final time signature is a 2/4 beat. I think now you could guess by your own, right? The 4/4 we count it as 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 3/4 we count it as 1, 2, 3, and the 2/4 we are going to count it as 1, 2. Okay, only 2 counts. It's 1, 2. So 1, 2. So in the same way, your hi-hats are going to be on both the counts. It is 1, 2. Now actually, why we are discussing like this, no? Separating the bass drum, separating hi-hat, separating the snare drum, right? Not only for this beat, any sort of beat which you may learn later, right? So try to split the bass drum, try to split the hi-hat, try to split the snare, okay? And then try to combine all of them, okay? So if you do like this, it will be easy to understand the beat, right? For example, the same thing, consider the same beat of the 4/4 beat I demonstrated to you. If I don't split and explain you, I think it will be little much difficult for you to understand, right? So if I explain the same 4/4 like this, play on the first count like this, second this, third this, fourth this, I think this is little much difficult, right? So always any type of beat, any sort of fill, you just try to split and understand in which count which part of the drum is coming. There's 1, 2. Okay, in case of 2/4, it's 1, 2. 2 counts on the hi-hat, first count in the bass drum, second count in the snare drum. Okay, now we will play this 2/4 beat slowly much as possible. So first count bass drum and the hi-hat, the second count is snare drum and the hi-hat, right? So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I find when you are not counting, so kindly count it, right? One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now if you play this 2/4 beat a little more faster, it may sound like this. A little more faster. Generally 2/4 beats are the faster beats, right? So it's only 2 counts. So the beat itself tends you to push it further, right? So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But you take in the case of 3/4, in the case of 4/4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in the case of 2, 4, it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I think now you can get an idea of how these counts matters in your playing, right? So it's a 2, 4 timing. It's generally a fast type of beat. There's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In the case of 4, 4, it's just a little much relaxed when compared to the 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now we have seen a 3, 4 beat, a 4, 4 beat, and a 2, 4 beat. So the final thing which we are going to discuss in this video are the fills. So now what is fill? So fill is basically when you take any song, there will be a lot of sections under each song, right? There will be a chorus, there will be a pre-chorus, there will be a bridge, okay, there will be a stanza, there will be an intro, there will be a interlude, there will be an outro, right? So in order to move from one section of the song to the other, consider a song as 3 stanzas, right, and a chorus followed by it. So if you're going to move from the first stanza to the second stanza, you can play a small fill. Okay, the fill. So fill is used for filling when moving between the transitions, that is from the stanza to the chorus, chorus to the pre-chorus, pre-chorus to the bridge, first stanza to the second stanza, like this. Okay, so it's going to basically bridge the gap between these sections, right? So that's why it's called as fill. Okay, it's going to fill the gap when moving to the each parts of a song, right? So now, as you're running out of time in this video, we're going to discuss only a fill for the 4/4 time signature. Okay, we saw 4/4 at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Now, when it comes to fill, your timing remains the same as your beat. Okay, if you play your beat in the timing like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your fill also comes like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is a very, very basic fill. Actually in fill there are a lot of things you can do. Okay, this is a very much basic fill. So it's just hitting 4 counts on the snare drum, right, left, alternating your right hand and your left hand. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now I'll start playing 4/4 beat 3 times, and on the 4th count I'm going to play a fill. Right, after that I'll give some time for you. You can work it. 1. Now listen carefully to the counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So the way your count for your beat goes, the same way your count comes for the fill. Because the point I'm stretching out here is because I've seen beginner players, what they usually do is the beat will be perfect, but when it comes to the fill, there's some sort of rush themselves. Okay, something like this. So okay, so I've seen beginner players doing like this. Okay, so always keep in mind the way the count it goes for a beat, the same way it comes for a fill. Okay, if you're going to start your beat like this, 1, 2, in this count, this fill also in the same count, right? If you're going to start your beat a little faster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and now coming to the fill, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, now you have got an idea of the basic beats and the fills that you can try it in your rhythm pad. The same way it occurs for the 3/4 beat and the 2/4 beat, right? So in 3/4 it's 1, 2, 3. The same way you can try the fill, 1, 2, 3. That is, if you look at the sticking pattern, it will be right, left, right, right hand, left hand, and your right hand. Okay. Now we will try a simple fill using snare drum for a 3/4 time signature. That is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now if I play this a little faster, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The same way for a 2/4 beat also, right? So now I think for 2/4 you can guess, right? So I'll give a 10 seconds time. You just try a fill for a 2/4 beat. Okay, I think now many would have guessed it. So a basic 2/4 fill will be like this, followed by the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So all these things which we have discussed in today's video are the beginner and the basic levels. It's for absolute beginners, right? Absolute beginners, those you need to try. Okay. And some things I'd say like the timing, some information could have been a new for the intermediate and advanced players, right? So now beginner players, how we should practice. Okay. So basically you can start practicing a 4/4 beat, these simple patterns, and then try to move for little complex patterns, right? So complex patterns, and then you can move for the other time signatures, that is 2 3 4 2 4, like that. So even in 4/4 there are a lot of variations you can do. Okay, lot of things and lot of variations you can do for a basic 4/4, for a basic 4 counts beat, and the same way for the 3/4 beat and the 4/4 beats also, right? And also for the 2/4 beats, and even in the fills, right? We discussed a very simple easy fill for 4/4 and for 3/4 and for 2/4. In the same way you can try different sort of fills, right? I'll try to post as many lessons as possible in the upcoming days in this channel. Actually there are some videos regarding the fills and a lot of videos regarding the techniques in Tamil, but since many have requested to post it in English, so this is the first video in English. So as the time goes on, as we keep moving, as the day goes on, I'll try to put more videos in English in this channel, right? So that it will be easy and beneficial for all of you, and all of you can follow it, right? Okay, now the final one, the motivation factor and how you should practice, right? So basically if you have 30 to 1 hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour each day, so start practicing the hand exercise, right? So hand exercise I haven't discussed in this video because there are plenty of hand exercise. If you need further guidance regarding it, kindly use the mail ID in your screen and kindly text me in WhatsApp using the number given down there, and I'll send easy hand exercise which you got to try. Okay, your hand exercises are the building blocks for your beats, fills, and all other stuff, right? So be thorough in all the 40 sort of hand exercises, and then you can master these beats, right? So if you feel anytime demotivated to practice, right, try listening to your favorite song or favorite band, okay, or try playing with other musicians, right? It doesn't matter even if you are a beginner player, right? If someone is there, okay, with you, a beginner keyboard player, a beginner guitar player, right, you can both sit together and try to learn some new song, try to learn to play some new beat. Then new ideas emerge when two or three gather together and you try something new, right? Even if you add, even if you have another beginner rhythm pad player or another beginner drummer, okay, you just sit together, you play in your rhythm pad and ask your friend to play in his or her rhythm pad, right? And then you can practice together. So all these things will be useful to keep the motivation and to keep pushing yourself to practice more stuff, right? So I guess I have covered many things in this video. So this video is for beginners, and if you're interested in further learning in this beginner stuff or in intermediate or advanced player, both in rhythm pad and in drums, okay, kindly contact me in the number given in the screen. I will give you details regarding the online classes, right? Especially in this quarantine time, crash courses are going on already, some have enrolled in it, and also I do provide video lessons, right? So basically it's private lessons, it's like one-to-one teaching, and the video lessons is I'll just send a mail to you, I'll mail the lessons to you, you can download it and learn whenever you are in free time. right? So if you're interested in something like that, or if you need to push your drumming or your playing to the next level, we can do we can take private lessons. Okay. And also I do provide lessons using notations, right? So in this video we haven't discussed about notations and any other stuff, right? So if you need to be if you need to learn this instrument, you need to master this instrument, you need to understand the notations, right? So the notations, you learn it, it will be useful at any sort of time in your life, right? Because listening and playing is good, but if you want to learn it in a more professional way, you just try to learn it, understand the notes and learn it, right? So yeah, that's right. So I think this video will be useful for all of you. So in the upcoming days I'll be posting more videos and lessons in this channel in English, right? So do subscribe to this channel if you haven't done, and you can watch the other videos in Tamil. It's there, so if you know Tamil you can follow it, or there is a session in the playlist like 1 minute videos, right? So if you go to my channel playlist, you can find among one of the playlists that will be mentioned as 1 minute videos. So basically what I do in the 1 minute video is I won't explain anything, it's just playing. So 2 times I'll play it slowly and show, and the third time a little more faster, and the fourth time a little more faster, right? So you can follow those videos if you find difficulty in learning it in Tamil, right? So do subscribe to this channel. So plenty of videos are there upcoming. We'll try to cover more topics for the beginner level, intermediate level and advanced level. And the main thing you got to do here, do leave your comments below and how you feel this video was useful to you, and do share to your friends who are interested in learning rhythm pad or drums, or who are in keen of learning these instruments from the beginner level, right? Beginner level to advanced level. So the lessons are there, kindly make use of it, right? Also do subscribe to this channel and share to your friends. Okay, we'll see soon in the upcoming videos, right? Okay, now to end this video, I'm going to play use certain patterns in drums and in other instruments, this rhythm pad, right? You just listen this, and we'll see the next lessons in the upcoming videos. So do share, like and subscribe, leave your comments below, and if you want any private lessons or any lesson materials, do contact me in the WhatsApp number or in the mail ID given there. Okay, thank you all for tuning it, right? Okay.